Hi, this is Edwin Proper from ProperGrowth, and the next speaker is Pablo Scarpatti. His speech is titled The Beautiful Problem. Essentially, he said he was focusing on the wrong thing, just growth and growth of the company. And what was happening is there were more defects, people were unhappy, and they were leaving. And so he realized he needed to make a change. And so he talks about the things that he focused on to make this change. It is a great speech, so listen out, and then afterwards we have a Q&A. So check it out.
So, a beautiful problem presented to us. When you have a social exposed lean culture, more and more customers will want your product or your service because you are building trust. So many brands and projects were presented to us, and we had a small structure to receive and process all these projects. So on November, we decided that we are going to accept all those projects. And in order to do so, we had to double the capacity of our company, which was a big challenge, but we took it. So then we started with a plan. And with my former production manager, Sebastian, we draw in this screen the factory plan. And we said, okay, we need 2 guys here. We need one more machine, one more H-bander, 4 more trucks, 3 teams for installation. And we built a beautiful plan. And it took a whole day. But when we finished, we look at it and we said, okay, let's do this. The team grew. We were 17, I think, 18. Everyone can do many things. We were, how you say, polyvalente? Multifunctional. So that need to change because we must be professional, and each one have his own burden and his own task. So we built this different scheme of how we run the company, and it looked really good at first. Then we need more room because we're going to receive new machinery and we're going to produce more and more products. So we rented the warehouse, which is behind ours. We built a road so we can connect both and be efficient. We expand our fleet of vehicles. Remember that we focus on service and we deliver and install our own products. So we must expand our fleet of vehicles. We add technology. We brought machinery, and new process can be made here on our factory. And production started to increase. So the plan was right. Many products were being built. We were delivering to many new customers. And I think that we thought that we have a great flow. But then we started with new problems because we have a big company and we are facing different problems. So materials started to fail. Our team was making bad decisions. People were leaving the company, and we started to have accidents. So we were heading disaster. So what happened was that we were focused on the project of making our company bigger rather than focus on the customer. We didn't take care of our costs, of our members of the team, of our process, and our lean culture. So what I did, and this is something I did 4 years ago, I stood, you can say, humble, and I accept the fault. I said, this is my fault. I was overwhelmed and focusing on the project of making our company bigger, which is something you can be proud of, right? And receiving new machinery, new trucks, making the company, the building bigger, it's kind of distracting. And I lost focus. So I stood humble. And after many fights with my brother and with my colleagues, and being super stressful and having sleepless nights, I stopped and I said, this is my fault. I need to change this. So I looked back on the things that the lean culture taught me and review one after another one. So I started to work from the beginning, just like I did 4 years ago. And I'm going to share with you those tools and how they worked. So if you ever had this beautiful problem, you may have one big box of tools to solve it. So the first thing I did, I reconnect with the lean culture. I took ownership of the morning meeting. Yeah, the morning meeting was super sloppy. And one thing I've learned in Jack's summit is that if you win the morning meeting, you win the day. It's a super simple and perfect explanation of the power of the morning meeting. Then I started to visit the customers because that's where we were having the most of the problems. We were delivering late, we were delivering with bad quality, and we had so many claims that my brother and his team of sales couldn't sell. When they called a customer, they received claims. They couldn't resell or sell to another customer. So that were the worst punches because it was personal. They were talking bad about my product, my team, and even worse, about my brand. My brand is my last name. So that was super personal. Anyway, I did. I traveled. And Juan and Gabriela know this. I went from 5 a.m. to Buenos Aires, which is 7 hours, Federico, right? I I show up to the customers and I get back because to be in another day we have to tackle many problems here. And I did that many times. Many times I didn't say to anyone that I was doing that because that wasn't important. I changed my Gemba. I thought that my Gemba was this, my building, the production facility. But I realized that my gemba was bigger, and I started to look at the processes of my suppliers that were delivering late and on bad quality. And with Santiago, we built a process in which Gabriela and Martin are visiting our suppliers in order to build commitment with them and to bring up quality and avoiding the failure of delivering late. Do you have your Robin? I didn't have it. I have mine now. I train him. Right now, he's not in the factory because his mother is ill, so he's taking good care of her. But Santiago is my Robin and is soon to be a Batman. And I could be the commissioner. I don't know. But he will be a Batman. I'm sure he will. And Juan told me this. You need a Robin, he said. And I didn't have it because I thought that I should be a superhero and tackle all the problems because I know how to do it. I have experience. I had a big, super big ego. So I trained my Robin, and my Robin in a few months is going to be a Batman. This one, it's one of the greatest one. When we travel to different countries, we have all the time new problems that you couldn't even imagine that will occur. And on Ireland, on City Matters Lean Summit 2 years ago, we were having lunch, and Mr. Amesawa, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Amesawa was talking. I wasn't on the table, but I sit next to them because I know that I can hear many good things. Was talking about an example on how to solve a problem. He said, this is how he presented the subject. You have a big crane in your facility. Your product needs this crane in order for you to move the product through the process, and the crane breaks. What do you do? He asked. It was Alex there. Many great lean guys were at that table, and everyone answered with his solution. And he said, wrong. And I started to hear what he has to say. And he said, you have to immediately execute 3 solutions. The crane is so important that you need to execute 3 solutions. So what they did is maintenance team stopped what they were doing and climbed up and see what was wrong. The chase guy, the guy who bought everything on the company, was calling the manufacturer. And another guy was asking for a cab to go to the airport and buy a ticket to go to the facility that manufactured this crane so he can be ready to grab or bring information or a spare part. So whenever we have a problem right now, we release the importance of thinking about the problem and we started to think about the solution. So when you present 3 possible solutions, you eliminate the weight and the focus on the problem and you start to actively think on a solution. And of course, one of them could be the solution. But anyway, you are start to think positively and actively on a solution. I had to improve my leadership. Teru Oyabe, I've learned this in the Japan study mission, said that leaders must be warm-hearted strict and fair. And I was being too warm hearted and too fair, but not strict enough. And you need to be uh, more strict than your customer. If your customer is strict, you have to be in another level. And you you have to show clarity on growth also, because all the members of the team need to know that if they want to grow, it's possible. And if you are warm-hearted, strict, and fair, that's a possibility. And if your team members grow, your company will grow. Erase fear is a great thing that we started to work on. I told you about the 3 solutions, that building a trust environment, when you don't blame the person and you blame the process, you start to eliminate the fear on people. So they try new things and implement new ideas or new processes. You have to be transparent. You have to be reachable. They have to be able to talk to you on the same level. So being on the Gemba, you will be asked for solutions, or you can help them, but you must be transparent. You don't have to hide or lie. Fear is something that we bring from 300,000 years ago. When we started to have tools and go out on the wild, we have many threats, like an animal or climate. You could die. So for 295,000 years, we had that scenario. So going out, it's a fear situation. So when you understand this and you give the right tools for our team to go out and tackle different problems or different projects, you must provide tools to erase the fear. This is one of the greatest tools. I read these books of Joe Navarro. Joe Navarro was a former FBI agent. He worked on how to read people. Once again, for 295,000 years, we were communicated by gestures. So if you understand how a people gestures present to yourself, you will understand how they are feeling, and you are able to help them. And one thing that we need to bring back was commitment. And this is a picture that it's super important. When we finished our morning meeting, the managers and team leaders get together, because all the days we present with different projects and different furniture and different materials and different process. So you build commitment by speaking and seeing each other with their eyes. It's not the same to send an email, which I think, like you, Paul, it's full of waste, the email. You can send a video, you can send an audio, but if I telling you straight in the eyes what I need from you, or what are we going to work on, it builds commitment. It's different. So we work on how to have great meetings. We set a good standards of what meetings do we have? And then we start to bring some tools for communication. Gabriela bring AI, so you put a phone, you you tape the communication, and then you have a, a written resume record, of the meeting. So we work on commitment with those tools, and then we started to nurture our team skills. This is a great picture. They were in Chile working, and each of them has the right skill for the project that they were working on. Guillermo is super great on electrics. Santiago is super great on solving problems and logistics. And Pitu is great on building stuff. Great. One of the greatest carpenters in all the world. So instead of working hard on their work, we started working hard on their skills. And 1 year ago, we started to let everyone raise their hand and be able to work on another position. And this is super cool because you have to think and put yourself on the level of the operator or the employee. If they see that they won't grow on your company, they will stuck. And it's a horrible feeling. So Juan always is asking for any other members what position they can rise and they can be tried on. So it's free here. You can raise your hand and we will try yourself in other position. And in order to make it happen, we have great standards for each process. And we are working on those, but we have great standards. My daughter took this picture. In order to build your future, you have to improve yourself first and be humble and accept the challenges, tackling those problems. And if you are surrounded by challenging people like today, you are capable of so many things, so many things. This last 8 months, we do so many things. And I realized that we are capable of so much more, Juan. So many things. We switched our company. We had many problems. We solved many of them. We are still struggling to solve some others. But we do the thing. We don't tell our friends how we're going to do the thing. We don't write a great post on social media on how we have to do the thing. We don't send inspirational pictures. We do the thing. We do the thing. And when I were super stressed, that's what I did. I get up my feet and do the thing. So this is what I learned. Growth is a beautiful challenge. Requires humility, action, and the right mindset. Thank you very much.
What a great speech. Now, before we move on to the Q&A session, I wanted to share something called the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. It's from the author Patrick Lencioni. And the reason why I bring this up is because in the Q&A session and a later video, you'll see how we talk about being strict with your employees and being strict with your suppliers. the thing is, we can't hold people accountable if we haven't had buy-in from them, a commitment. But you can't have commitment if there wasn't good conflict, if they weren't able to raise issues. But then you can't have conflict if you don't have vulnerability-based trust. That's where it all starts. It's a great book to listen to, and there's a lot of information that you can find out there. Now, let's go on to the Q&A.
You mentioned, Pablo, that one of the tools in your toolbox that you learned through the challenging journey you've had with Juan was your attitude as a leader. And you said that you have to be warm-hearted, you have to be more strict, and fairness has to evolve within the characteristic. Tell me a little bit more about strict. And you said that was missing previously. Can you give us an example of how that? I think I wasn't strict enough because my fear was that being strict, my team will hate me. Look how dumb I was. And I saw that they needed for me to be strict because I was strict with some and with some others no, because they've been with me for many years. So I was being more friendly with them. And when one member of the team was going to the bathroom so many times and having a mate in moments that he shouldn't have, I didn't say anything because I thought that if I said that to him, he will be pissed. And I didn't want that. That was a fear that I had. So you kind of walk past the standard and accept the standard. Yes. That was the creeping problem you had. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Pablo. Sorry.
You just set a clear expectation before that?
No, but I sat with him and talked. And I presented this problem and asked for him to be at another level so he can grow and we all can grow. Not as I wanted. No, not yet. I think the next action is to put a deadline on it. If you don't succeed on this behavior, you're out.
Pablo, Will from the US. Is there a standard for that type of activity in your factory?
Good question.
No,
There you go.
no, there isn't.
We have clear standards at FastCap for that. A break time is for break time. Everything else is work, game on, no screwing around, period, end of subject.
Hey, Pablo, it's Philip from Portugal. So technically, in the team, what is the level or the importance of this teammate, and why the fear that he gets mad? Really, 5 ways. I understand. Once again, so what is the technical level of this person that you are talking about? Is he like a beginner, someone very experienced in the job? And going beyond, you don't want him to be like mad at you, but why don't you want him really to be mad at you? What is the consequence that you might fear? He's really skilled. We try to raise him in many positions to be a team leader, but we failed. And we need his ability in order to make really complex furniture because he's the only one that can make it. So that's my fear. If I how you say, choco con él, como que if we are fighting, I was frightened that I might lose this guy.
Okay, so Mr. Omamura, what would Mr. Omamura do? I want to know what he would do. We've all been faced with this problem. Every one of us.
Okay, wait for it, because this is one of the best responses I've ever heard.
I believe without him, you can solve this problem.
I love it. I love it. Well, Mr. Amazawa, yes, without him, you have a false sense of who he is. Mr. Amazawa, I want to hear what he said.
I will tell him you can leave us anytime you want.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Yes, yeah.
Gastón from Argentina. On the opposite side, you recently have some very good employee that you wanted a lot, and he left. So, how do you deal with that? That is, I assume, the opposite of this other thing.
Okay. Yeah, that was a bad feeling. We mostly was my fault because production was really bad, and she was taking all the punches from the customers, so she couldn't take the pressure. And I understand it, and she left. Sadly, right now, it's different. And if this person could hold a few more months, he will be enjoying this moment that we are enjoying right now, or starting to enjoy. So, does that answer your question?
Yes, and so you think that she leaving was the thing that made you change?
One of the things, yes. Yes, because I realized that how big was the problem. Yes,
Thank you.
our former sales manager left our company because she couldn't take the pressure. Well, at least I think that she couldn't. That's the reason.
These are great questions, great honest answer. More questions.
Felipe from Mexico. More than a question, I would like to comment on what you were saying about having a skilled person who isn't really fitting in. And unfortunately, we have a lot of rotation in our facility. We're 145 blue collar workers. And naturally, it's difficult to deal with so many people. And I would like to share two things that I've learned, and one of them is related to football, which I don't know you. I know you don't like too much, but it's also valuable. The first thing is, in football, some teams say no player is above the shirt. So sometimes, even if the player is very skilled, he may destroy your football club. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it because people come and go, and skilled people come and go, and you'll be fine. Some people will be able to step up to the role if you're clear about the expectation. And the second part that I've also learned is hire for culture, not for skill. Everyone can learn the skill, but not everyone can learn the culture. And
De acuerdo.
I'm hoping that works and helps Pablo.
Thank you so much.
Brendan from the United States. I have a follow-up question for Mr. Umamura. So on the Japan study missions I've been to, we learn a lot about how in Japan they look at employment as more of a lifelong thing, right? And that they will go to the ends of the earth to help grow the people. What is his distinction in the case with you of why it was instantly, that's not the right person, right? What is it about that says, hey, no more investment for this person? I think I know, but I'd like to hear it from him.
Can I ask, just before you answer, if you think you know, I want to hear your answer because I'm curious.
I think it's that the person is no longer willing to participate in their own rescue. They're not willing to try.
Okay. I would say the answer is harmony. In Japan, harmony is very important. Teamwork, everyone working together. And if you're not a harmonious person, you don't want to work as a team member, then you're out. Rice culture, I talk about this in my book. Let's see what Mr. Amazawa and Umemura say about this.
So when at Mifune, when I hire people, first I will study about what this person had done before, what kind of job he did. Then I can estimate if the person will be suitable or not. I can tell. And one more thing, we try to avoid the person who easily changed many jobs. We don't want that kind of person. When we hire in Japan, it's very difficult to fire those person. Layoff is almost impossible once you hire as a full-time job in Japan. It's by the law. You can't just lay off anyone. So we are very careful when we hire new person. And for first 3 months, there's a time for us to learn about the person. And if we decided this person is not for us, we're not suitable for us, then we can tell them we don't have to hire the person. We have those 3 months to estimate.
Same here.
So,
Same.
yeah. So we are very careful. And then we will watch those 3 months if he or she will be suitable for us or not.
So it sounds like it's cutting it off before you have the problem. Okay, but let's see what Mr. Amazawa says. What do we do with Japan? They always keep everybody forever. But you're going to be quick to just let this guy go?
I never had to hire anyone, but I always received someone to my department, right? As Paul-san explained, harmony is one of the keys for us to be able to work together. So we have a future plan in Toyota. You will know after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, which position you can target. There's a very transparent workflow that you can take a look for your future plan. And within the system, you can really move around in different positions or different departments. So your question is?
Brendan, say your question again.
I think maybe a better way to ask it would be, what are the qualities they look for that would trigger them to no longer want to invest in someone?
Let's say someone tricked them, mommy, and they didn't turn out to be the person they thought they were. Well, when would you say, I'm not dealing with that, get out of here? Mr. Amazawa's answer in Japan is if you lie, if you manipulate the numbers, or you look down on the Gemba people.
So at Mifune, we don't have a problem because we do estimate within those first 3 months. So after we hire, we really barely have the problem. So we don't have the problem with this. I didn't have the problem in Japan, but when I worked at Kentucky, yes, like Paul-san said, some people lied to me. So our culture in Toyota is very clear. And if the person cannot follow those clear standard of Toyota, then we have to ask them to leave. First, focus on your customer. You understand the harmony to work as a team. And you always have the Kaizen mind that you want to improve every day. And respect. Respect your team. Respect the team. And then teamwork.
Yeah.
Those are the basic.
I think the answer, Brendan, is we're all very squishy about the way we do these things, and Japan is not squishy, and Toyota is not squishy. It's very, very clear what the expectations are, and they maintain that standard, and we're not very good at that. That's what I would say.
I just wanted to add that this is Jeff from USA. I just wanted to add that the overwhelming majority of the time that I have a problem similar to yours, I look back and I realize that we didn't make the standard clear from the get-go. And my success ratio in keeping someone after they've already fallen below the line of what my expectations are, getting them back up has been very, very difficult. So in my organization, I'm trying to understand management structure better and have my managers understand what is actually required What do we want our people to behave? Where is the bar? And how do they live above the bar so that we don't have to have those, because it's exceptionally painful to lose a great skilled worker because we allowed them to take too many breaks. And that's, when we talk about taking that as leaders, that's something that I feel all the time is that's my fault. That's something that I need to set the standard. And I use that feeling that when you let someone go, that doesn't feel good. Organizationally, you feel that. And I try to internalize that as my rocket fuel for making sure my managers don't let that happen again.
Thank you. More questions?
So Thomas from France. I'm going to change topic and go back on what you explained with your supplier. So you said that you went to work with your supplier so they can improve quality. What exactly did you do with them? And how far did you go in training them and helping them improve that quality level?
First thing that we do was to look for other suppliers. We started work with new ones, and we started different. We set the standard. We improved the way we present the documentation because that was our fault. The documentation wasn't good enough. So we asked them which are the problems that it's causing this late deliver or this low quality that you are delivering. And whenever there was a problem, we helped them with the solution. They said, we can get this material. Okay, we can help you get the material. The drawings are not good enough. Okay, we will improve our drawings. We need more communication with your design team. Okay, the design team is going to your facility. For every excuse, I think many of them were excuses because we were taking them out of the comfort zone. We presented a solution because we need them. Then with Santiago, my actual manager, we started to look for new suppliers. And on those new ones, we set the standards.
Yeah, thank you.
Even though we are still struggling. With some of them, it worked, but not on most of them. So one thing we did with two processes is that we are bringing it to the factory. Sadly, is the final solution, I think. Another question?
Brandon from US, just want to make a comment. It sounds like you need to do the same thing with your employees. If you learn to combat the excuses with solutions to eliminate excuses, and you might need to get new suppliers, you can do the same with your employees. Set the standard immediately and combat excuses with solutions so that it's no longer on you, it's on them. And you can identify directly who won't be harmonious within your company.
Great, thank you.
Abraham from Spain. Pablo, how did you choose your handwrite, your Robin, Santiago?
Great question. Santiago, he's an industrial designer. He started with us taking care of logistics. He did a great job. For every problem, he presented an improvement. And he has a great attitude in solving many things. And I tried before of giving him this position, this super powerful, important position. I tried how he handled the project manager position, which is a few steps below, right? And as I saw that he was really good at it, like Paul said, stand up. It was like this for 3 months, all the time with him, coaching. We travel a lot. We travel on purpose. We went to Buenos Aires and 7 hours talking, asking questions. I stay with him, I can say 3 months, all the time with him. And then I was sure enough that he was my future manager. Also had the reaction for the, how you say, how the other ones on the team feel about this new position. So I asked Juan, I asked Aileen, I can't remember who more there. I asked many members of the team how do they feel of his new position. So they were with me on the choice. Thank you. Anyone? Okay. So right now, yes, let's move forward.